Hello, my name is Matthew. Today we're going to be going over how to get a job. I put a lot of effort and research into this, so um, any suggestions that you have for me to improve on any further how-to videos, do let me know. But this should come off as very helpful. Try to take notes if you can, and let's get right to it. What we're going to cover is, first of all, the pre-search, what you should do before searching. We're going to go over how to do a resume, cover letter, what you should or how you should handle your social media, career fairs, phone interviews, and in-person interviews, and this is all it takes to get a job. Now let's just start off with, what is a job? Now keep in mind that a job is life. You're going to spend, if you're full-time, around 40 hours per week at this job, so therefore realistically speaking, you're going to want to put some substantial amount of time and effort into actually picking this job, so it makes those 40 hours way more enjoyable. And all a job really is trading your time and effort for money, and the overall goal is to make this time worthwhile and the money worthwhile as well. Some good tips before searching: only pick something that you're passionate about. And I mean only pick something that you're passionate about. Do not waste your time filling out applications and resumes for a job that you're not really interested in. I feel a lot of people do this. You're going to find that not only does it make working there more enjoyable, it makes the job getting process more enjoyable. If you're searching for your dream job, you're going to be filling out applications and resumes, and you want to actually, again, make it worth your time. A good mentality to always have is to limit desperation. Never come off as too desperate. Always make it seem like you have options. So this is just like a general mentality that I want you to have. Use at least 2 job searching tools. I would suggest LinkedIn and Indeed. These seem to be the most effective for me. Make sure you check out payscale.com before searching or applying for anything, just to get a good estimate of what you should be getting paid. This is a really helpful site actually, because a lot of companies will try to shortchange you, try to hire you for a lot less than you should. So always know the range that. Basically, PayScale just shows the average salary range for your job. Try to get letters of recommendation, whether they're good or not. Preferably good, obviously, but if it has a little bit of bad parts in it, that's fine. A lot of jobs will respect the honesty and the fact that you got a letter of recommendation. It's literally called a letter of recommendation. So, I mean, think about that. Whether they're good or bad necessarily, they're usually more helpful than not. Frequency, I would suggest filling out maybe 2 or 3 a day, but it really depends on how badly you need a job. I mean, if you really need a job, you should be spending all day searching and filling out applications very tediously, but I would suggest really just focusing on just 1 per day, and that's my goal. I don't want, this is not a numbers game for me. This is a job getting process, and what I'm going to teach you is exactly what you can do to get jobs, to get the job you want without spending less time. So like I said, I usually, if I were searching, I would just spend 1 per day. And make sure you research the job before applying. Don't just choose it because of the position or because it sounds cool. Make sure you research it. Check some of the reviews of the job. You don't want to work for something shady or have any surprises along the road. So just put in the work ahead of time just to make sure that you get what you want. So let's start off with the resume. First of all, make sure you pick a phone with a voicemail. You don't want to miss any job opportunities because you don't have a voicemail. Make sure you choose a professional email address. Something usually just first name dot last name at something.com usually does the job. Don't choose like westside-rider56 at yahoo.com or something like that. Don't do that. Don't add a LinkedIn address. I used to do this, so I thought it was a great idea and innovative and whatnot, but it really just comes off as unprofessional. So this is the overall goal of the resume. You want to tailor the resume specifically to the job that you want. So, and this starts with your objective section. Keep in mind that this is the first section that they will read. these job getting or job hiring individuals, whoever they may be, typically HR people, but they read top to bottom just like we do. So for this section, make sure you look at the job capabilities and or requirements from the site or wherever you applied. Make sure you take some of the keywords on there. Make sure you add that into the objectives. But the overall goal of the objective is to show what you have learned, demonstrated, and developed, and what you can offer as well. That's the main things you want to include. What you can offer. That's all they really care about. So for professional experience, make sure you put this in chronological order, first of all, with your most recent at the top, and try to use like specific statistics in this section. It just makes it seem like you actually did something, for one, but make sure you use specific statistics like increased revenue from 15 to 20% during second quarter using this technique. Add stuff like that. It just comes off as more professional and experienced, and that's the point of the section. So for education, a neat little trick is, well, if your education is one of your better features, I would put this right below the objectives. Again, they read from top to bottom, so you want to put your best stuff at the top. So if your education is great, put it at the top. If your education is not your best feature, put it at the very bottom. For your skills, this is what you get directly from the job capabilities section. So check that out, look at the skills that are required for the job, and make sure you add every single one into the skills section. You do not want to waste your time. You do not want to not get hired because you did not put a skill that they have or they want in that section. And again, it's all about keywords. So keep in mind, these individuals, HR people, whomever, they get typically, some get upwards to like 50, 60 resumes a day. So often they use keyword scanning technology, and if you don't have the keywords that they're looking for, your resume will just automatically not be read or even considered. So make sure you're getting the keywords directly off of the job capabilities section or wherever you looked, whether it's online or you got a paper or whatever. Make sure those words that really pop up, like SEO, say for instance SEO analyst, SEO, make sure you get like pay-per-click, just all those words that are repeated, put them on there. And here's my great tip of the resume. When you're saving your resume, save it specifically for the job. Keep in mind that, okay, I know I said objectives the first thing they read, but this is actually like the first thing that they read. Make sure you save it like Matthew resume and then put the company. Don't just say Lane Res 56 or Lane Res resume. Put your name, underscore. Just make it look professional, and it goes a long way, trust me. Cover letter. So what you want to include in this, and keep in mind, a lot of companies don't even read their resume. They'll just go straight to the cover letter. So this is quite important. So you're going to want to include why you applied for the job, and don't be too lengthy. I understand that you want to show that you're very articulate and able to write well and etc. But for this section, just get straight to the point. Why you applied for the job? It's a good location. Seem qualified. I like the company, etc. What type of position you want? Just put the position you're going for. What would you do if hired? So in this section, I would specifically show what you would do. Would increase traffic by probably 20%, 10, 15%. What you can add, what you can contribute. That's what you want to add. And a good tip is to give an analysis on how they can improve. So check the business and like really analyze it and say, okay, what are they doing wrong and what can I do to improve? So maybe give like 2 or 3 tips, or maybe just one really could do the job. But this definitely goes a long way. It shows that you think and that you're really interested in the position and that you're really passionate about that line of work, if you will. Also, make sure you put in the cover letter how you will follow up. So when you send it, say, I will give you guys a call next week, or shoot you an email next week. It'll keep you on their mind. So another neat little trick is send a photo. It comes off as creative, but just send a photo of just you smiling. It looks kind of cheesy and whatever, but it projects like a positive image for yourself. So just send them a photo. That's a neat little trick that you can use. And also send a video. Now this is something that very few individuals do, and the video should just be like a quick little 1 to 2 minute what you're about, what your skills are, what your goals are. And not only, it doesn't have to be amazing. You don't have to be acting like Brad Pitt and everything. They're not really looking for the next Johnny Depp. They just want, but it shows that you have technical expertise. That's the key. It's like, okay, this guy is smart, he's clever, he's creative. That's all that really shows. You don't have to, I wouldn't focus too hard on just the production, but get it out there, make sure it's clean, clear, etc. And send them a video, and it goes a long way. So for social media, how I would handle this is make sure you clean it up. Just delete any pictures, videos that may incriminate you in terms of getting a job. You don't want to lose a job because you have some scandalous photos on your Facebook page. Try to bring the private, or switch the privacy settings to as private as possible, just to save you some time. And get a LinkedIn and start networking on LinkedIn. That's my suggestion. So for career fairs, I like this because it is money. A lot of people don't quite consider this anymore because it's so much easier online. But a recent study I read showed around 70% of jobs still rely, or employers still rely on career fairs to hire for their company. So basically 70% versus 30. There's a lot of perks to career fairs. They're good to talk to you, and I'm gonna show you how exactly to handle that. First of all, make sure you choose a career fair that's for your niche only. Do not just go to, don't waste your time going to like a general career fair like the Georgia Congress career fair. Make sure you spend your time going to a career fair. Say you want to be a doctor or in the medical field, go to a medical career fair. Do not waste your time going to a general career fair. So make sure that you research, if you can, the companies that are there. See if you can get a list of all the companies. Pick out maybe 2 or 3. Fill out your resume specifically towards them, and cover letter as well, and pass those to them. And then for the rest of the employers there, just get like a standard resume. But research, like I said, 2 or 3 companies ahead of time. Put some time and effort into the resume and cover letter, and that goes a long way. Things to not do: do not ask if they are hiring. I would tell you 99% of the time, if they're going to spend money setting up a booth at a career fair, that they are looking for employers. Now, so how do you handle your phone interview? Keep in mind that this is a open book test. Basically, you can use your computer basically, or any notes or whatever. So make sure you utilize that option. So I would suggest just pulling up your resume and then the job requirements for wherever you applied. Make sure you have a pen and paper. Try to be in as quiet of an environment as possible. Make sure your call quality is good. Make sure your signal is good. You don't want to lose a job because your call quality was poor. Keep your answers short. Again, rambling kind of makes you seem nervous and unsure of yourself. So when they ask you a question, keep your answers short. Keep in mind that they're interviewing you. So if they want more answers, they will ask. So just keep your answers like one sentence every single time. Prepare 2 or 3 questions ahead of time, because at the end of every phone interview they're going to ask, so do you have any questions? And you don't want to be like, no, you talked for like 30 minutes. I don't really have any more questions. Can I get a job? That's my question. But just prepare like 2 or 3 just generic questions ahead of time and just ask them. And make sure you smile during the phone interview. This is like a classic sales tactic. What it does is it projects like a positive vibe over the phone when you smile. So just smile. And also your posture. Sit up straight or stand up if necessary. It just makes you sound better over the phone pretty much. For your salary, if they try to throw a salary at you over the phone, tell them that you need to do more research and you'll get back with them. Do not grab a salary over the phone. They would probably try to shortcut you into taking like a lower range salary. And at the end of every phone interview, make sure you ask them if anything is unclear. And this goes a long way. So, in more times than not, keep in mind that they're sitting there taking notes. So, you ask if anything's unclear, they'll probably be like, oh yeah, when you said you like this, what do you mean by that, So, ask that, and then take notes afterwards. This is mainly if you don't get the job, but write down the questions they asked and your response afterwards. And if you don't get the job, you can probably look through it and see whether, what questions you should have answered differently. More times than not, you'll be able to figure that out yourself. Okay, so for the in-person interview, make sure you research a little bit more. Keep in mind that the individuals at this portion of the interview will typically be more deep into the company, so they know a lot of the company, so make sure that you're on par with them. Prepare some questions ahead of time, maybe 2 or 3 more questions. Do not wear strong cologne or perfume. Now this may seem as if I'm just joking around, but keep in mind that you're going to be in a small room. Typically it's going to be quiet. You're going to be in close proximity. You do not want to lose or not get a job because you smell too strong. And a lot of people do this. I've heard a lot of stories. They show up dressed well, looking well, smelling good, but just smelling too good, and that's not good. Bring documents. So bring a printout of your resume and cover letter, maybe 2 or 3 of each, and distribute them amongst the individuals that are interviewing you. Shows that you mean business. Make sure you sit up and lean forward. So sit up and lean forward. Don't slouch back during the interview. If you sit up and lean forward, it shows that you're attentive, that you're interested, etc. If they try to discuss the salary at this point, it really depends on who is interviewing you. If it's just you and the CEO, for instance, then I'd say it's appropriate. But if not, if it's a group, say that you'll do more research and get back with them. And if they're like, no, we have to discuss it now, I doubt that's going to happen. So usually employers will have a separate time frame for the salary negotiation. So, and I could write a book on that, and I'll give you some tips after we go through everything. Some good post questions, and make sure that these are questions that have been accumulated throughout the interview. So try to pay attention and think of some impromptu questions. It just shows that you're actually listening and focused and paying attention. Some bonus tips. Ask for a trial. Ask if you could work for free for a week or so, and see if they'll hire you after that or not. And what happens is you will get hired at a much higher rate, because who doesn't want to hire somebody for free? Just think about that. So, and then what usually will happen if you do well, which you should do, if you do well, they'll end up covering that trial period and they'll hire you. So it's just like a neat little way to ease your way in. So try doing a tweet search, as in get on Twitter and search hashtag looking for a job or hashtag hiring or something like that, and this will weed out all the jobs that are not hiring at that moment. So if somebody posts up a job or a tweet and says looking for a job or hiring this individual or hiring this position, more often than not they are actually hiring that position. Otherwise, I don't know why they would put that up there. And try posting ads on like Google AdWords. This is a neat trick as well. So try using AdWords if you know how to use it. Get on there and post, put your position, say SEO analyst, 3 to 5 years experience, looking for work, and put your number. And it's pay per click, so if they click on it, odds are that they're gonna actually call you. So that's a good thing. So negotiating your salary, this is always fun. If you get to this point, it pretty much means you have the job, so you have no fear. And what they want you to do is negotiate. They do not want you to, of course they would love to get you at a low price, but negotiating your salary is a good thing. Don't just sit there and say, oh, I'll take whatever. Don't do that. Not only will you get paid less, it just shows that you're not very confident in yourself, and you can't really negotiate, which is, negotiating is a good business skill, sales and etc. So they want you to negotiate, long story short. So what I would typically do is, make sure you know the range. Go on payscale.com, understand the range of your salary, and typically just say, I'd say I'm on the upper end. Say the job is from 40 to 50K is the salary range. I'd say I'm typically on the upper end of the 45 to 50K range. So automatically take out the bottom half and then negotiate from the top half. So they'll probably say, okay, well, the position we're looking at like maybe 45K, and then just say, well, I would consider myself on the upper end of that. Definitely, I would say 48K would be as low as I'd take, and then they'll probably snatch that, just thinking, okay, well, at least he's not going for the 50K. And if they don't, then they'll say probably 47. But keep in mind that you negotiate yourself up potentially 7K a year, which is what, about extra $500 a month, maybe $600 a month. So it's worth your time. So just to wrap up, make sure you follow your passion. Make sure you target your resumes, your cover letters. Be specific, and show off in your cover letter as well. And always be prepared ahead of time. And make sure that be prepared to get hired. If you guys have any questions, leave it in the comment section. Make sure, if you like the video, like, subscribe. Let me know anything else I could add. And thank you for watching. I will have more videos on other how-tos that you can check out. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks.